It's September 16th. We've been training together for 18 months or something. We pulled off a lot of good goals. We dropped 30 pounds, well, 25 pounds. Set some gym records. Got good and strong. Got your nutrition back in line. And at this point, a lot of athletes get lost. They get like the doldrums, and the doldrums are like, people know that term, but it's really cool. The root of it, like being out like a ship stuck out in the sea without any wind. And
is that where that word comes from?
Yeah, that's what the winds were called, or the lack of winds were called. So we started talking about more goals for you, because just doing one more of this, or being fit, those nebulous goals are really hard to motivate, and that's why we're having this meeting. Well, I'm just going to look at your email here. We've got when we set goals with our athletes, we'll usually set a couple of different types, and we'll have training goals that will be markers in the gym, number of pull-ups, things like that. We'll also have performance goals, which would be like competing well in whatever race or things like that. There are other types of goals, like improving your form on certain things, or getting better at food selection, those kinds of things. But we've always got to attach numbers to those. And that little acronym of SMART goal setting is a really good thing, and it's specific, measurable, achievable, really, really, really hard. I can't remember what the R part is, but they have a time component, and R is realistic. So what we've got is, you have a weight goal. We're within about 5 pounds of that right now. And so to drop 5 pounds isn't too hard for most athletes. We can usually get that about a pound a week on somebody your size.
Basically, I'm going to try to be 129 by Halloween, roughly, right?
Yeah, and that's a really good thing. Like, if we set goals to drop weight, or like what we call body composition goals during holiday season, and basically the holiday season is now fully, 25% of the year.
Yeah. People
usually will start on Halloween candy about the middle of October, and then they go right on celebrating through Martin Luther King Day, But really, between Halloween and New Year's, people will give themselves a pass. And so if we can set good, solid goals for that time, we have, it's an athletic home run the rest of the year. And so if we were going for 129 as your primary goal by October 31st, for sure get there.
I'll tell you, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'll tell you why that one's such a big challenge for me. I'm not 100% sure I can get it. Usually I can be pretty determined. And we've talked about this before, the set point theory or whatever. And not that you bought into that or not, but it seems like I'm always, 133, 134 most of the time, when I'm eating well, when I'm really fit. And so I think I'm happy with my weight, but I wouldn't mind trying to see if I could do 129. Not by starving myself, but I'm not sure that it's possible. So I'd really like to see if it is. So.
Yeah, set point theory is an excuse.
Okay. So I guess we're not going to go with that.
However, the thing is there's no
I like it a lot.
There's no good evidence to indicate that set point theory actually happens.
Right.
But it's an excuse to say, like, because when it gets hard.
Right.
It's very easy to fall back on that and say, oh, well, I just must be meant to weigh 200 pounds.
Right.
The thing is your body does get used to maintaining a certain weight, certain amount of fat. Your immune system functions better at a certain weight. Or you can even look at it nutritionally, like if you're bringing in this amount of vitamins and minerals, and you start depleting that, you start feeling crappy. And so your body starts asking for more food. So there's a lot going on there, but it can be manipulated. It's a real challenge. We have 5 more goals on this list, which is a lot, but they're all congruent. and those are all fitness related goals, and that includes. I assume it's not just the raw power records, like the front squat record, because you'll never get it.
No, I didn't know what you call them.
Yeah, at body weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so front squat record at body weight, back squat record at body weight, chest press record at body weight, increase your pull-ups, increase your dips. Those are all real achievable, all in line. You won't get them all, but you'll probably get 4 out of 5 of them.
Okay, we could scale that back if you want to just shoot for 2. I thought that they could all be kind of done at the same time.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and that's cool because you've made a really good choice there. Like we've seen where endurance training is devastating to your strength,
right.
And so if we had a goal in there of increasing your 10K time or something like that, although it would be very easy to improve that number,
yeah.
It would pull away from your strength goals, and so I like to focus on strength one part of the year, endurance one part of the year. Then, working on your kettlebell stuff, and then getting in shape for skiing. I think that's important to do after we reach all the strength goals.
Okay.
Let's hit all the strength goals. Start into the skiing stuff in December. Your race isn't really until
March 5th.
Yeah. So we can, you can start skiing, doing a little bit of it, but really, I'm not saying that it can't be done, but I've just never seen it done where somebody actually improved significantly in endurance activities and got stronger, unless they're a completely base level athlete.
Okay. What do you think about, is this why, I guess what you've taught me, I could come to the conclusion that the 129 is going to be harder than normal, just because I'm trying to get stronger at the same time. Is that
right?
I mean, I'm kind of a little bit concerned about. I think I have confidence I'll get stronger. I'm not confident I'm going to hit that 129. But
no, we have to optimize your eating and we have to optimize your sleep. You got 3 kids. You have 6 jobs. So you're really busy with that stuff, and so takes a lot of attention and focus. So I have concerns that we can lose a lot of fat because you don't have that much, but that we can lose that amount of fat and still train really hard. And so what I would like to do is kind of start aiming your training that direction.
toward the
strength goals.
Okay.
And we can still strip fat.
Is that the only way I'm going to get to 129 is by losing fat? Because you don't try to lose muscle. Is that right?
Yeah. It's hard to lose muscle if you're active at all.
Okay.
The best way for somebody to lose a lot of muscle mass is to do endurance activity and no strength training. But you lose a lot at that point.
Okay.
And you can start losing. A really good way to lose weight would be to put you on a bike, and you can lose bone mass too, and all that stuff.
Right.
So, but I think that you're really well proportioned. You've got good amount of muscle mass, almost no fat, and so the 129 might be a touch hard, but we'll see what we can do. Let's take it 2 pounds at a time.
Will we still to work towards these strength goals? Will we still do a metabolic once a week or?
Well, metabolic training is important to do because it does maintain that high metabolism that helps with your fat loss. But I want to pull the metabolic back a little bit, increase the intensity of it, where it's starting to marry into the strength a little bit more.
Okay.
And so we'll do things like hard metabolic circuits that include dips and pull-ups and heavy deadlifts and things like that. And so you're pushing strength the whole time.
Because I love metabolic, but I hate it. But
Right.
I love it because it trains me for suffering.
Right.
That's what I figured out.
I know.
Nothing trains me for suffering like that.
Right. I know. Yeah. Otherwise, I think the goals all look decent. I think we have a good chance of getting all of these goals. And it's really important. One of the nice things about having multiple goals is if something happens that pulls you a little bit away from one, you can focus on another one, like hurt a shoulder or something. We can focus on the leg stuff a little more.
Okay.
But it's going to require changing the way you look at your training. So coming in and doing your intervals on the elliptical and things like that, we're going to pull away from that and have you doing a third strength day each week.
Okay.
Whether it's we'd go Monday, Tuesday,
You know what?
Thursday.
Maybe I'll change my goals.
Oh no. No, see this. It's really fascinating, isn't it? Because like I'm leaving.
Because I think I'm gonna gain weight. Then I'm gonna bulk up.
Let's see.
Ugh.
I think it would be really fascinating to see
if I can bulk up. Well, I get down to 129 and get these strength records.
Yeah, I know. I guarantee. Because remember, we're strength training, not hypertrophy training.
I know, but we're also pulling back on the metabolic. I'm a little worried about my metabolic rate, but
no, I wouldn't be too worried about it. We're gonna pull back on just like straight out hoofing it on the elliptical stuff, but we're gonna let you do some other things that'll keep you pretty lean.
Okay.
And that's a really important factor. It's like that fear of bulking up. Most people that fear bulking up train exactly in the way that they're going to bulk up. They're like, oh, I don't want to bulk up, so I'm going to do, 15 reps of medium weight.
Right.
That's exactly how bodybuilders train.
Yeah.
They do isolated movements. They're doing curls and like the innie-outie machines.
Right.
The way that we avoid gaining mass is to train so intensely that the overload is primarily neurological.
Okay.
And so we try to keep the reps way down there, 1 to 4 reps on things. So it's so hard that it's like this central nervous system fatigue rather than building into that endurance zone of getting like the pump, like that Arnold always talks about.
Yeah. Well, this will be a challenge for me. I'm kind of rethinking everything. Well, we might have to talk about that a little bit.
Well, think about it, because I see a lot of people. They come into the gym and they're a runner. They've been running for years. I run this 3-mile loop around Lander every single day, and I want to lose a little more weight. So what we'll do is we'll pull them out of this running. We'll say we're going to have you do weight training, metabolic training, intervals, and that's usually our general formula. And I want you to hit it really hard, and we're going to give it 100% intensity on these things. But they're like, okay, I'm going to do it. And they start coming into the gym, and then they're like, oh, well, I should still be running, because whatever in their mind makes them think that somehow that was effective. They just didn't do enough of it, for 3 days a week. It's at 150 runs a year for 5 years, and it's still not working. They're like, oh, well, maybe I just need to do it more.
Yeah.
But going into that, the adage, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got.
Right.
It's not working. And so if we change slightly what we're doing and trust in a different kind of training plan, we might actually see some improvement. But that comfort zone is hard to leave. The comfort zone of the elliptical or riding your bike around the Squaw-Baldwin loop or whatever.
Yeah. I'm also afraid that I won't have the calorie burn. Do you see what I'm saying? Throughout the week, I won't be burning as many calories, right?
Yeah, but you will be, because you're doing this heavy metabolic training. Like weight training is the ultimate metabolic training, because like pulling a heavy bar off the floor 4 or 5 times is as hard as running half a mile.
You think
like calorie wise?
Yeah.
Because remember that big metabolic burn that we get from resistance training. Like your catecholamine increase, all that other crap. People's metabolism stay very, very high. The heavier they lift, the higher their metabolism stays.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm weighing every Tuesday, right, too, so we can maybe keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and seriously, we should do all the measurements. Like, I think, let's measure your thighs and your biceps and your shoulders and every part of you that you are concerned about.
Right.
Measure them and watch them.
Okay.
Because I really want, we've got really good, measurements for, lots and lots of months with you on this current plan. And let's see what we can do. Like, I'd be desperately happy if I could figure out how to put bulk on a woman.
Yeah.
Because I have some that want to bulk up, and I can't make it happen.
Yeah.
And so, if we could figure out a way.
Not on me.
Well, seriously though,
no,
if it happened, we can reverse it instantly.
Yeah. Well,
like losing bulk is
I
about
really
the
don't want
easiest
to bulk
thing there
up,
is.
for the record.
Yeah.
I don't, and I'm trusting you on that. So, for the record.
Yeah.